The One More Piston Buds are true wireless earbuds that can be found for around £50 in the UK and around $50 in the US. In case you're interested in purchasing them, by the way, links in the description below will take you to your localized Amazon stores, and also down there you'll find some alternatives that you might want to consider. Now, before jumping into this review, if you are on social media, I'd very much appreciate a follow on Instagram or on Twitter. And if you're interested in keeping up with the latest news or reviews of electric or hybrid vehicles, do check out Totally EV. Your support would be equally appreciated. So jumping straight in terms of your package contents, you've got the earphones themselves with their charging case, a Type-C to Type-A cable for charging, and you've got medium, small and large silicone tips. Now the earphones themselves have got a really nice design. They've got a kind of angular look to them, and it actually reminds me of, let's say, the Sony EX80s or 85s. I can't remember what they were in terms of old school earphones that I used to have. I just like their angular design, and I had no issues when it comes to fit. In terms of passive noise isolation, they're relatively decent as well given their size. I didn't find that they attract much wind noise either when it comes to cycling with them in. Now they have got controls in terms of left and right, and in terms of your controls they're actually quite limited. It's a shame that One More haven't integrated more customization, specifically because they've actually got an app, but the app only really allows you to enable or disable the firmware updates. But anyway, in terms of the controls, you double tap on the right earbud to play and pause, and you double tap on the left one in order to activate the voice assistant. There is no means of going previous or next, and I feel this is kind of a missed feature, and one that I would have liked to see, specifically given the fact that, again, that they've got an app. One could have potentially customized them. Now in terms of comfort, they're very lightweight, so you're not going to really feel them too much in your ear, so you can actually use them for workouts as well. They're IPX4 certified, not like you really need to care about that too much, but you can do intense gym workouts without having to worry about them falling out. There is a little bit of driver flex, however, when you do put them in, and that's to do with the design of the silicone ear tips. That's a kind of an odd noise that you might hear within your eardrum each time you're putting them in and out. But anyway, your mileage may vary depending on how your ear canal works. And in terms of the weight of them, they're relatively lightweight, and the case itself with the earphones actually only weighs 43.3 grams, which is extremely nice. Now as for battery life, the earphones will last around 3.5 hours on a single charge, and their case combined gives them a total battery time of 20 hours, which isn't bad, although it would have been nice to see a little bit more battery life from the earphones themselves. They certainly can't compete, for example, with the likes of the Creative Outlier Air, which offer 10 hours on a single charge, whilst the case itself provides an additional 20, so you get around 30 to 40 hours of battery life with these earphones. Or for example, the Jabra Elite 75T, which I know are out of their league in terms of price tag, but you get much more playback with some of its competitors, so it would be nice to see had One More integrated that within their earphone design too. Now as for the app, it's very simplistic. All you can do is really update the firmware, and there's no means of, for example, changing the controls of the left and right functions, and furthermore there's no way of integrating a play and pause function. Now on the plus side, however, I do like the fact that One More have integrated a dual master driver design. In other words, you can use the left or the right one independently from each other. Now I did find the switch between left and right not as seamless as some of One More's more expensive earbuds out there. However, it still means that you can do it, and it's really nice to see and refreshing, because a lot of its competitors will offer a right and left master and slave driver. So for those people who like to wear only one earbud, well, you're not going to have to make your own sacrifices in terms of which earbud you want to use. You can use either or. And now we get on to recording quality, and everything you can hear right now is coming directly from the One More Piston Buds. And what I will say is that the overall recording capabilities are actually pretty impressive, at least for a budget true wireless earphone, whereby it picks up my voice relatively accurately. And while it does suffer in terms of environment noise, so if you're in a busy, crowded environment, it will pick up some environment sound around you. But on the whole, I must say One More have done a fantastic job in optimizing the overall voice quality. Now by comparison, here are the Creative Outlier Air, one of my favorite budget true wireless earphones in terms of sound quality, and you'll be able to hear for yourselves the differences between the One More and the Creative earbuds. And now we get on to sound quality. Now quick mention about the overall Bluetooth Bluetooth codec that these One More earphones support. It's the SBC and the AAC codecs, the latter being the better out of the two, and one that will be favourable for those people who are on iOS devices or Mac OS, for example. It would have been nice, however, to see the aptX codec included, like the Creative Outlier Air, which come in at around the same price. However, that's not the case with the One More earbuds. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about my subjective opinion about the earbuds. And first off, we're going to talk about the sub-bass response. And here, the earbuds actually deliver a decent sub-bass extension. While it is cut off towards the lower echelons of bass frequencies, it is actually pretty impressive to see that they do have a decent extension. They don't sound thin, for example, like the Samsung Galaxy Buds or the Buds Plus, for example, which are completely outclassed by the One More earphones in this domain. The same could be said about the mid-bass. There's plenty of emphasis in the mid-bass tones, which leads to a quite lively sort of reproduction. It's not as tight and controlled as some more expensive earphones out there, but at its price tag, I think a lot of people buying these earphones will be pleasantly surprised at the amount of bass that they're getting. As for the mids, they are recessed on the whole. However, they're not too bad. In terms of their reproduction, they're accurate, and while they do sound a bit pushed back, specifically if you're comparing them to more expensive earphones, at its price category, I think you'll struggle to find other earphones that will give you a good mid-range reproduction, or at least a good overall reproduction throughout the sound frequency range. As for the highs, they are rolled off at the top end. They don't give you that zingy top end crystal clear type of sound that you might expect from more expensive earphones and some of its budget alternatives, but again, on the whole, it's perfectly fine, and they don't get sibilant or harsh either. Now, as for the soundstage, the One More earbuds have a relatively close sound. They don't compete anywhere near with the likes of the Creative Outlier Air, and to be quite honest, there's quite a lot of earphones out there that can't quite compete in terms of the soundstage department here, in terms of giving you a good width and depth. And it's no surprise here to see that the One More earphones suffer the same sort of fate. On the plus side, instrument separation is pretty good, and you get a good sort of sense of instruments hitting from left and right, and when you're listening to vocal tracks with instruments in the background, then you can get a sense of enjoyment while listening to your music. What I'm trying to say over here is that on the whole, the overall sound quality for the price that you're paying is actually pretty impressive, and you're getting a decent all-round sound. Just again, bear in mind that the sound signature is relatively warm. It's got a V-shaped sound, and furthermore, it's not going to compete with earphones that are more expensive. But at its price point, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find earphones that give you a good all-round sort of performance. And truthfully, this leads me on to my verdict. I am really impressed with the One More earphones. I think what One More have achieved over here at this price point should definitely be commended, and as a result, I'm actually giving them my Best Buy award. Sure, they could have better touch controls, in other words, more customization. The app could be a little bit more, comprehensive in terms of giving you EQ functions or the ability to customize your touch controls, and might that come at a later time. By the time I'm making this video, that's not the case. But where it really counts in terms of call quality, in terms of ergonomics, in terms of the overall design of the case, the battery life, and furthermore the actual sound quality that you're getting from these earphones, it's very impressive at this price point, and it's very hard again to think of another earphone that would really compete in this domain and kind of tick all the right boxes. So hopefully you agree or maybe disagree with me, so let me know in the comments below to what you make about the One More Piston Buds. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to keep up with the channel. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you want to keep up with my reviews, you can also check me out on social media. So for example, on Twitter and Instagram, a follow would be greatly appreciated. Alright, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.